I'm really excited to be talking tonight about collaborating with designers. As In Rhythm's design practice has been growing, exploding recently, I've been asked by a few folks about how to work with designers. We're adding designers to a lot of teams, to a lot of clients, and I'm thrilled to even hear that people are asking. That's so wonderful that my fellow In Rhythmers care so much about working collaboratively together and building strong and supportive teams. The design process is complex and confusing, and it's not one size fits all. It can be really difficult to know how best to support the designer on your team or to push them a little bit further. So this evening, we're going to take a look at some best practices for including your designer in your cross-functional team and being a valuable part of their process. Great teams build great products. Building a strong team that is engaged, communicates, takes risks, experiments, that's where great products come from. And that's exactly the kind of culture that we want to be building on our teams. So without further ado, the most important thing, shocker, is communication. Communicating early on is hugely important to any design process. No one likes it when the first time they see a design is at handoff. That's not a good situation. You want to be able to discover issues early and often. So agree on a rhythm of check-ins prior to project start, and start with a really good brief. Feel this out with your designer. Some will want morning meetings, some will prefer an end-of-day email, sometimes a weekly is best, but whatever you do, leave time to review work in progress. And that's scary, reviewing work in progress. I know you don't want to hurt feelings. We'll talk about how to do that in a minute. I like weekly check-in meetings. Weekly check-ins are for everyone. They're not just for the benefit of the designer, but they're for everyone who has insights into a project and updates to give the rest of the team and a look at what's happening. They're for all of us. They're an opportunity to begin thinking through implementation from early design concepts for engineers or stakeholder needs for PMs. And you, again, want to be able to surface issues early. So having regular constant check-ins will help you do that. Keep the needs or the project brief at top of mind at every check-in so that you can be sure everyone is meeting those goals that you originally set out to accomplish. But stay out of the weeds. Focus on what you want to achieve from a design. Bonus points if you focus on feelings and put it in user-centric terms. We care about the user experience. It's in the name. So how they feel and what they're thinking is the bread and butter to us. Make the sign up button bigger might be the answer. That might be the solution if your sign up button is really small or hard to find. But the real need there is to make it easy to sign up. And that could come in a variety of forms. Perhaps the sign-up flow is too long, perhaps it's too short, perhaps you have a reg wall too early in the process. There are lots of potential solutions, and that's what your designer is there to figure out, which of those options or combination of things is going to solve that need for your users. You should also know your designer's strengths. Please go watch John Nealon's lightning talk from a few weeks ago. It's on In Rhythm's LinkedIn page in the recent videos. It was a fantastic breakdown of the massive field that is user experience design. But in essence, we're expected to have a combination of a variety of skills. Most simply, is it valuable? Is it useful? Does it work? And is it beautiful? Most designers have a mix of these, and most designers will be really strong in one or two areas. If you have a solo designer, they need to be a generalist, and you probably won't get deep expertise from a single area with them. But if you have a team, then their skill sets can complement each other. Know their strengths and trust your designer to do their thing within those strengths. Additionally, be aware of the seniority of your designer. A more senior designer should be solving a more abstract problem. Just as an L1 would struggle with auditing an entire app and finding the highest impact areas and then executing on those, an L5 will get bored quickly if asked to design a sign-up form. In both cases, you're not going to get the best out of your designer. The complexity needs to match their needs as well. We want to hear from you, I promise. We really do want to hear from you. I like to describe the design process as like sailing. You're constantly adjusting as you get new information, as new things surface, as you get new constraints. And that's why iterative design is so important. Did you see something somewhere that accomplished this goal well? Get nerdy with us about it. We want to hear it. It's a process. Remember those check-ins we just spoke about? They exist to foster iteration, and iteration needs feedback. Share why you feel something might be off. Even if you struggle to articulate, think out loud. That's okay. That's part of our skill set, is to get to the core of the need. So just free think. It's okay that you don't know how to describe a design. And always remember, fast load times are the best user experience. So speak up if a proposal is going to slow it down or be incredibly difficult to build. That's not good user experience. Just because it's flashy doesn't make it good. Also hugely important is to get designers together. Iteration needs feedback, and you'll get the best work out of your designers if they have an opportunity to share their work with other designers and grow the design with them. Another designer can complement your skill set, push the design a little bit further, and point out issues that you may have been blind to. Give designers a community, time, and space for this. If there's not already a design chapter meeting with your team or organization, create one and start having designers talk to each other and share their work. It's also vital for consistency within an app, which you need in order to have that polished professional product. Care about the details. Again, that cross-app consistency is really important. Just because the brief is one feature doesn't mean you get to ignore the whole rest of the experience. We'll be thinking on both levels, and that should absolutely be encouraged. Imagine if the file menu was in a different place. Well, you don't have to imagine, just use any Microsoft product and you'll get a pretty good idea of how important it is. Just because your menu is flashy doesn't make it good if users can't find where they need to go. And lastly, say something nice. When it's good, when it's working, say so. There is so much research on positive reinforcement psychology that I won't go into right now, except to say that genuine positive feedback is hugely important. Nothing makes my heart flutter, makes me blush like a developer telling me I'm excited to build this, or this is so cool, I think this is going to be a great solution. Even a simple thanks, this was a challenge and you delivered. A confident designer is going to take risks and go the extra mile to find that ideal solution. Valuing their input and being excited and appreciative of their hard work will increase their confidence. We hear a lot of negative in our day-to-day. Everything that we're doing is figuring out what's wrong, what needs to change, and it's never done. There's always more to improve. So it's really nice to hear when we've nailed it and we've done a really fantastic job. And of course, we want to build things, or we want to design things that you want to build. That's, that's part of the team, that's part of the process. So hearing when we've nailed it and when you love it is just so meaningful for us.